friends. Thanks so much for tuning in with Embodied Astrology. My name is Renee. I'm a consulting astrologer and embodiment educator. And every month I offer astrologically guided readings that help connect you with your mind-body intelligence and energetic intuition. In this very special Aquarius season episode, we're going to tune in with 2025 and get some channeled messages specific to each of the 12 zodiac signs. So make sure to listen to the recording for your sun, rising, and moon signs. And if these readings speak to you, make sure to check out the extended readings for each sign in 2025. They include an additional 2+ hours of in-depth exploration for navigating this year's most important transits, retrogrades, and eclipses. Additionally, if you are an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, or if you know how to work through the themes of each house in your chart and you know where Aquarius is for you, make sure to listen in on the Aquarius reading for an extra special edition with some important themes for Aquarius season. In 2025, that's January 19th through February 18th. If my readings resonate for you, let me know by clicking the thumbs up and tell me what lands in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe and stay updated with my monthly readings and astro-inspired movement and meditation practices. The best way to show your support and stay connected is to sign up for the Embodied Astrology newsletter, drop into a weekly or monthly Embodied Astrology class, or sign up for a monthly membership. You can find more information on everything in the show notes or at embodiedastrology.com. All right, let's get into your channeled readings for 2025. So what's coming in for me first and foremost is the perspective that you have is really changing because your location is changing. Now, some of you literally are experiencing this. You've moved, you're in a different place than you were, and things look different from here. That can be a metaphor as well as actual reality. Things are changing. You're different. You're in a different place. You have a different perspective. In an energetic kind of bodily way, I feel that you are in new terrain right now. The landscape is different. The social landscape is different. The ideological landscape is different. You are seeing and feeling and experiencing the world in different ways. Now, this has just been starting recently, and it feels kind of like the ground is shifting underneath you at the moment. And you have a sense of long-term changes that are beginning now. And you can feel that in this new place where you are, so many new paths and potentialities now are opening up in front of you. Which directions you'll go and who will be there with you on the path, you don't know yet. You might have some ideas, you're getting little glimmers of possibilities, but a lot of this is still happening, it's still shaping, you're still arriving in some ways. And there's so much space and availability for you to imagine and fantasize right now. And imagination and fantasy, while they are not reality and sometimes can actually be a way that we escape reality, I'm going to say that imagination and fantasy are actually really important for you at the moment, and they are, in fact, practical. Throughout the year, you have so much creative energy, and this is a year that really wants to infuse you with a creative spirit and gusto of some kind. Everyone is creative. Your body, your life is the most profound creative project you will ever take on, even if you are a world-class artist and you do all kinds of big projects. Your actual living and existence is the most creative thing that you can do. It involves all of you. And the way that you are and how you become, how you express yourself and what you're paying attention to immediately then starts to shape the world around you. Now, of course, none of us, not even powerful Scorpios, are in absolute seats of control. And just because you're changing doesn't mean you can dictate how the world around you is changing, potentially, unfortunately. But you definitely have an impact and an effect. And I think that you are really feeling your effect as we move into 2025. A lot of you are having the experience of waking up to new possibilities in your relationships. You are aware of potentials that you have in the ways that you relate with others. This has a lot to do with your perception, with your communication, and with your willingness and availability to be seen. Your visibility is a really important focal point for the year. And when I say visibility, I am including a lot of potentials here. So first and foremost, what I said just a moment ago, your willingness to be seen by other people. This is the visibility of your day-to-day and most important relationships. This is a feeling of authenticity and integrity. This is a willingness to be vulnerable and honest and transparent. Sometimes it involves you taking risks to be awkward, to try something out or put something out there, even if you don't have a guarantee that it's going to be received in absolutely the best ways or in ways that you can predict. However, I think a lot of you are learning that your authenticity is less a risk than it is a benefit. And this is a important point of awareness for Scorpio folks, because Scorpio can be a sign and an energetic pattern that sometimes likes to hide. Scorpio can play the cards close to the chest, as they say. There can be a tendency to be self-protective and sometimes quite secretive. Sometimes you don't know that you're being secretive. You just hold things in for a long time, and you might not even be that conscious that anybody else would be interested in what's happening in your interiority. However, a lot of you are learning that people are interested, and it matters and it does something when you reveal what's happening for you internally. And in fact, a lot is happening for you internally that can have a very profound impact and effect on others, potentially in large ways. And so you are learning how to use your power, in particular, your social power and relational power, and the power of your visibility, how you allow yourself to be seen and what it is that you're putting out there. You're learning to use that power in new and different ways. This is going to be a year that brings also a lot of focus and tension and attention to the details and the practicalities of your life. And I think that a lot of you are really trying to figure out how to make it work. Now, this could manifest in so many different ways. On a purely logistics level, life is lifing all the time. We are in a period of time astrologically that is really chaotic, that is very overwhelming on the collective level. There are a lot of things shifting and reshaping, and that means that individuals are working really hard to stay up with it all, to adapt, to figure out how to plan as plans rapidly shift. We are in a time of a lot of systems falling apart and like institutional chaos. And there are definitely many, many reasons why the logistics of life can feel complicated and stressful on a good day. And in 2025, particularly for Scorpios, it feels like a lot of you are really concentrated on the practicalities of the just the gears working in your life, the mechanisms of all the different things that you're trying to keep going. Now, you have energy for this, and the universe has energy for you to figure this out. And so you are being given support to do this work, but in order to keep things together, you have to be willing to change in some remarkable and, I'm going to say, dramatic ways. And how you are changing feels to me like you are following guidance right now. And your changes require an enormous amount of trust and faith. A lot of you are really needing to put trust and faith in what is unseen and unknown and potentially totally untested by you in this lifetime so far. So it can feel like you are stepping out onto a ledge, maybe even stepping off a ledge, taking a little bit of a free fall. But if you are following your deep inner guidance and intuition, you will find a soft landing. And this is a year that will challenge you to listen really deeply to your inner guidance and intuition. And it will also challenge you to reach out for support and assistance. This free fall is not something that you are doing on your own. A lot of people are also in their own versions of a free fall. And there are a lot of peers and contemporaries and collaborators of yours who are in similar boats trying to figure out how to find the right pathways and networks of support. And the more that you can reach out, coordinate efforts, invest in solidarity and mutual aid, etc., the more you have support for your particular free fall. But this, of course, requires you to be vulnerable, to open up, to let people know what you need, and to trust and kind of be available for what can be given at any given moment, which is not always going to be exactly the thing that you think would be the perfect solution, but it may actually even be a better solution that you could imagine. So be open to assistance in many forms. And as you are trying to work out the logistics of your life and how to make everything work, remember, follow your deepest guidance and sense of intuition. You are being called right now onto a new path. And this particular calling feels a little bit like a dream. I feel like you are following a dream, which probably inside a dream feels totally normal, but when you're in your waking life, might feel kind of nuts. And there could be a little bit of back and forth for you energetically and cognitively this year as you approach that free fall and then back up and wonder, is this the right thing to be doing? And then you feel the guidance to step forward, and then you look down and you're, I don't know. But then when you listen and when you step off, okay, there's something there for you. There's a reason why you've been compelled in this direction. Now, in other ways that your life is asking you to attend to details this year, there is the issue of your body and your health and your well-being. And a lot of you are really being asked right now to attend to your well-being. We are living at a time on Earth when it's increasingly challenging to be and stay well. How can any of us be that healthy when the planet is so polluted and human beings have created such devastating impact on our ecosystems? And in order for us to be well, we have to invest ourselves in larger experiences of wellness and healing. And in a world where so many people are separated from one another and don't have access to basic resources, the issue of personal wellness then can become very fraught and tense. And this brings me back to the need for you to be connected and to have the right people and the right team that you can reach to support you in your embodied physical life experience, not just in 2025, but actually for the foreseeable future. And the feeling that I have here is that your need for help and your need to be well and experience the causes and conditions that would allow you to be well and to feel supported and assisted. Your need is not the only thing that's present, but need can sometimes pull a lot of focus towards it. And for some of us, sometimes feeling needy or feeling a lot of need can come with a whole lot of feelings wrapped around it, like shame or resentment or who knows what, I'm sure you've had your own experiences. But what I am feeling here is actually how much you have to offer when you understand that the needs that you are experiencing carry inside of them in the solutions, carry inside of them wisdom for the larger whole. And so what you need in order to find balance, stability, and well-being in your own life is also what others need to find balance, stability, and wellness in their lives. And it's also something that the world needs right now in general. And there is a way that you are in a kind of position of leadership when you understand that you are of service to some kind of greater healing. And what this healing is a personal healing for you, but also a collective healing for the world at this time. And when you experience your own vulnerability, fragility, illness, injury, disability, and or need, please try to hold yourself with a lot of compassion and care around what you are experiencing, and allow your personal experience to expand or catalyze a meditation for you on how this experience connects you to the larger collective and to the world right now. The symptoms that you might be experiencing, the lack, the need, the necessity to find the right structures of support, carry inside of them important medicine for the collective. And when you can identify what the collective need is and what the medicine might be, then you have an opportunity, and I will say a prerogative or a responsibility, to start to come into leadership from that place. And this could look like teaching. It could look like serving as a healer of some kind for others. And when I say healer, there's so many possible associations that could come from that. And the feeling that I have and the meaning that I'm making right now brings a quality of mending and integration to it. So whether you work in the realms of, medicine or body work, it doesn't matter. You may be a person who thinks of yourself literally as a healer, but regardless of how you might think of yourself or what role you have, you can work in healing ways. You can serve functions of healing in your relationships, in your jobs and occupations, in your family, in the place that you live, in any kinds of efforts or activism that you're involved in, when you bring in this very personal vantage point and perspective that comes from your lived experience and comes from knowing what it is that you need, and your capacity to then relate that to the larger whole. And so this awareness of what I'm going to say, is personal and political is profoundly important for you to cultivate in 2025 and 2026, because something is happening that is shifting the ways that you want to work in the world. And I mean that literally for those of you who are employed. So how you are working in your jobs, in your careers and vocations is shifting. And 2025 is bringing in a lot of motivation for change. Who you are and who you want to be in the world is changing. A lot of you, my feeling is that you are rebranding a little bit, and that could be literally if you have your own brand, but let's think of it as a metaphor. Who are you? Who have you thought of yourself as, let's say over the last decade or two? Who did you think you were going to be when you were a kid? How did you imagine your grown-up self? And that person, that kind of public image that you have of yourself is shifting remarkably. And as we enter into 2025, many of you are in big reorientations and how you think about yourself and how you're putting your energy out, displaying yourself, moving through the world, how you feel your attractions and your desires, how you feel compelled and motivated, changing in big ways. And as you change, you are also wanting to change your life experience, and your life experience is changing all around you. This is the feeling of the landscape actually shifting. You are standing differently right now. You have shifted your posture. You are looking at things from a different vantage. And as you continue to follow your guidance, the landscape continues to change. And as the landscape continues to change, your guidance continues to get refined. And over the course of 2025, there will be a lot of opportunities for you to refine and rework the ways that you are working in the world. Now, for those of you who are unemployed or retired or students, it's still the same vibe. How you are doing your business of being a person and living a life. What kind of person are you? What do you stand for figuratively, metaphorically? How do you present in the world? These are all areas that are changing remarkably, and they are changing in large part because your perspective and foundation is shifting, and you are consciously shifting your perspective and foundation, and that is changing the way that you are working. Okay, that's what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this reading, it is an excerpt from your 2025 extended year ahead, which includes an additional 2+ hours of in-depth exploration for navigating this year's most important transits, retrogrades, and eclipses. You can purchase that reading and access it today through the link in the show notes below. For anyone who's interested in joining some of Embodied Astrology's live virtual events, we have some upcoming in Aquarius season that you definitely don't want to miss. On January 29th, which is the Aquarius new moon, join Ramon Parrish and me for a members-only event where we'll be looking at Pluto's recent entry into Aquarius and what this means for the next 20 years. On February 9th, the author, artist, and intuitive Janata Petrus is holding her monthly full moon artistic alchemy class. Take this opportunity to tune in with the influences and creative guidance of the Leo full moon. Finally, on February 15th, Sherry Taylor and Ari Felix will be leading a workshop on Saturn and Pisces and astrology for world building. You can also find me every Monday in Somatic Space, where we work with the astrology of the week ahead as guidance for gentle and healing movement and meditation practices. All of our events are available by recording if you can't attend live. We offer tiered pricing and scholarships to everything, including memberships, and no one is ever turned away for lack of funds. Find more information in the show notes or at embodiedastrology.com.